Good evening. My name is Dr. Catherine Gaki Moronge, and tonight I want us to talk about factors that influence learning. Did you know a teacher's personality and confidence will hinder or enhance how a child learns? Let us talk about a teacher's personality. This has to do with how a teacher appears in class, how friendly the teacher looks to the learners. And this applies from PP1 all the way to the university level. How a teacher looks determines whether the personality of the teacher will determine whether the students will learn. And this has to do with how the teacher approaches the children, how she talks to them, how the face she puts when she's addressing them. All this will matter. When it comes to a teacher's competence, how the teacher is organized, the learning skills, the class, the control of class, again, this will hinder or enhance how learning will go on in that particular class. And this matters a great deal. The way a teacher behaves in class either will enhance or hinder learning. How do we behave in class? Whether we are teaching the very little children, PP1, PP2, grade 1, 2, 3, grade 4, 5, 6, or higher learning levels. Yes, secondary, university students. Is the teacher present or is the teacher hostile? Is the teacher intimidating and giving breaks? All these are going to count to the learning process. And as it counts, it will either hinder or enhance the learning. Is the teacher able to communicate effectively? Again, how a teacher communicates will actually determine whether children are going to learn or they are not going to learn. Characteristics of the learning environment. Yeah, the learning environment determines how a child will learn. The environment should be suitable for learning. Yes, an environment that enhances learning should have enough light, not too dim that children's eyes will be affected, and not too bright that again they will have headache. Ventilation has to be good. The building has to be good. Ventilation has to be enough as well, not just one window in a class of 60 students. So the structure of each class must be appealing. It must have enough windows and lighting. Then the building has to be good. We all want wonderful and perfect environments, don't we? We want to go to good schools because the buildings are good, the walls are clean, they are painted, the classes are cleaned, there's no dust, the environment looks conducive and nice and admirable. That is what we all come by. No bullying. A good running environment should not have bullies. Have you ever wondered whether you could be having bullies in class? And remember, bullies know how to camouflage very well. They pretend to be the best. But when the teacher is out of class, they terrorize other children. So we need to ensure there are no bullies, whether the teacher knows the parents or not, whether the child belongs to the school administrators or not. Bullying should not be around in classrooms. Even for boarders, it should not be around in the dormitory. So for any learning to happen, there should be a good environment. And children should not also be bullied, not only by other children, but also by workers. Workers can bully. by giving derogatory remarks to the children, intimidating them, threatening to beat them, threatening them to fail. The environment has to be very, very conducive. Okay? Good. An environment that hinders learning has overcrowded classes. So again, look at the number of children in each class and be able to tell actually whether learning will happen or it will be hindered. Okay? Good. Another thing that you need to focus on is to ensure that classes are not dark and they are not stuffy, so there is no ventilation, and the buildings are not of poor quality. Like the other day you saw a school whereby a class just went down and children were in school and there were injuries. Or in case of a stampede, the corridors are too narrow. Children will have to jump through whatever openings are available because the staircase is too narrow for them to fit in. So again, this is something that we need to look at and concentrate on and make sure it is good. When bullying is present and children are not controlled, the children that are bullied will end up being labeled as slow learners or non-starters because the teachers have not taken time to identify the problem, or a class where the teacher, him or herself, is a bully. Then again, children end up not learning. Okay? Then the learner characteristics, the learner characteristics also must count, and this has to do with intelligence. How intelligent is the learner? Brighter learners process information faster than others. Okay? The learner motivation levels. The learner emotional levels. What is the emotion of the learner? If they have any emotional problems, that will hinder their learning. Readiness to learn. Is the learner ready to learn? What is the mental ability? Remember, there is no child that is incapacitated. What matters is the encouragement and the amount of motivation the teachers are giving and the amount of time they are putting into helping the child to get to the level where they want the child to be. Remember Piaget, he says teach children according to their mental capability or levels of intellectual development. So if you realize a child has missed a step, you go back to the step where the child is and take them up. You don't leave them behind term 1, term 2, term 3 because others are coping well. As a teacher, you are failing. As a trained teacher, you are not doing the right thing. Okay? Then socioeconomic background. Research shows that children from middle class backgrounds tend to work harder in school than children from high class backgrounds. I will not expound on that. I'll leave it for you to digest. But I also have my thoughts that it's two-way traffic. Subject matter as another fact, as the fourth factor that hinders, that influences learning. Subject matter. The subject matter should be meaningful if learning is to take place. If the learner is subjected to meaningless material, learning will not occur. For material to be meaningful, it should be selected, organized, and presented in a potentially meaningful manner. The content should be consistent with the learner's developmental level. The teacher also should motivate the learners so that he or she, that is the learner, has the desire to know more. So if you don't motivate them, chances are their interest and curiosity to learn will be minimal or low. Okay? Now, how can the teacher ensure that the subject matter enhances learning? 1. Assess the readiness of the learner before presenting. Yes, before presenting the content, by identifying the knowledge the learner already has, his skills, his abilities, his motives, his experiences, and make this the starting point. Then also look at, as the teacher, present the material in a style that captures the learner's attention and motivation. Yeah? Also, build on the learner's past experiences. Use discovery learning. Yeah? Learners should discover concepts, meanings, and relationships on their own. Knowledge that is self-discovered is more significant to the learner and is remembered better. Usefulness of the content that is being learned. Yeah? Content should be made relevant to the needs of the learner, and the learner should perceive content as useful to him or her. Then the learning concept itself. The learning concept itself. The learner should not be exposed to facts that are isolated. He or she should be able to see the relationship, relate what is being learned to what was learned earlier on. Concept learning is very important, both in understanding a subject and in transferring the knowledge to future situations. That is all that I wanted to focus on today. Factors that influence learning. From me, I want to wish you all the very best as you teach the children, the students, the pupils, children from PP1 to PP2, children in grade 1 to grade 3, grade 4 to grade 6, grade 6 to the next level, and also in high school, junior high school, middle high school, and at the university level. Let us make learning meaningful, and let us make each child, each pupil, and each student in case of the university levels to feel comfortable. Remember, the teacher is not an island. The teacher needs to come down to the level of the children, the level of the pupil, the level of the students, for any student to learn. Having said that, I want to wish you all the very best as you do this God-given mandate of teaching children, of changing children's life. There is something I always tell my students when I teach at the university. I tell them, like someone says, give me your child and I'll make that child what I want him to become. If I want the child to become a thief, I'll make that child a thief. If I want the child to become stupid, the teacher will make the child stupid. Remember, the future of the children that have been entrusted to you, you'll be answerable to God with what you've turned them to. Have you turned them to thieves? Have you turned them to failures? Have you turned them into successful individuals in the future? Whatever you do today, you'll answer to God. Because remember, these little ones, they are closer to God than anyone else. And Jesus himself said one time, let the little children come to me. So the amount of love that the heavens give the children is immeasurable. Do not be a disappointment. If you want your life to go well, Take care of the little ones. Do your job right. Do not turn anybody's child into a thief, a failure, or an indisciplined child. Do your part, and God will do the rest. All the best. I will be back with another topic very soon. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you. Bye-bye.